They were so close to greatness. They could have called it Fallout 6-7. They were so close. Hi guys, as some of you know, I'm currently playing Fallout New Vegas for the first time, and playing that reminded me of this Big Boss video that I've been wanting to react to for months at this point, and I just kept putting it off or forgetting about it. No more! Let's watch it.
This video is sponsored by War Thunder. The year is 2013, 2 years since Skyrim, 5 years since Bethesda's last Fallout, and we'd heard nothing. Fans are starved. Ravenous for anything at this point, they scramble for any scraps they could find. Voice actors' tweets, employee leaks, Bethesda staff sightings. They'd take anything. But on the 14th of November 2013, a website appears online. thesurvivor2299.com. On it, Fallout's Vault-Tec logo and a countdown to December 11th. That was just 4 days after the Game Awards, where Skyrim was announced 3 years ago. Fans dig through the online directory, and its publisher? ZeniMax Media. Still, some are skeptical, but then 3 days later, ZeniMax Media actually files the trademark for Fallout 4 in Europe. They'd also said nothing about the website. If it wasn't legit, surely they'd just come out and say so. This could only mean one thing. The next Fallout was here. Bethesda hadn't abandoned us.
I mean, I assume this is correct because Fallout 4 did come out at some point. Not sure when.
They were finally throwing a bone to the little guy, and fan speculation goes wild. Then comes the Morse codes. Then the Caesar shift cryptography. Then the Visioneer ciphers.
Damn, they made you guys work back in the day to figure stuff out. Some people really like those online puzzles though, that will give them hints. So I think back then that was also popular marketing strategy, no?
Fans are sat at home in their pants for hours deciphering them. They even find a working phone number on the website, which leads to more codes. Some of these codes reference an actual radio frequency in Massachusetts, which sounds like this.
That's crazy spoilers for the new game!
This YouTube channel is even linked in the source code of the website. This was serious stuff. Bethesda had gone above and beyond with the viral marketing here. Every gaming outlet is talking about it, and there's even Facebook pages and YouTube channels with daily updates monitoring it. The subreddit.
Wow, that was a lot of YouTube videos just about that.
Watching the website's every move. The 6th of December 2013, almost 2 weeks of code cracking, and fatigue is beginning to set in. But it's now just 1 day before the Game Awards, and 5 days before the countdown ends. The hype is tangible. And Todd and the boys hit us with this tweet. What? It's gotta be a joke. Some sort of sick joke. But then fans boot up the website, and my god. Gone was the timer, the Vault-Tec logo. All that was left? A rickroll hosted on a server somewhere in Poland.
No way, right? Is this actual internet history? I've never known about this.
A dark day. 3 weeks of speculation and hype, countless videos on YouTube, and dozens of hours of people's lives spent cracking random ciphers and lining up rivers on Google Maps. For absolutely nothing.
That is so fucking funny. So someone just trolled everyone? Dang, I don't think nowadays it would work, but I can see how that maybe happened in the past.
Naturally, they're not pleased. The guy behind the website does an AMA on Reddit.
Let me guess. The AMA was like, hee, you just got pranked, bro.
And is vilified by the community instantly.
Yeah.
We hear nothing else about Fallout for a while, and Fallout fans return to the darkness. June the 2nd, 2015. Another Fallout-themed countdown timer appears. We'd been burned before. Turn it off. But turns out,
this one's real!
This time, it's actually real. And on June the 3rd, it's nearing the end. And finally, after years of anticipation, Fallout 4's announcement trailer is actually upon us.
Okay guys, Fallout 4, do you recommend I actually play it? A couple of people in my chat said that it's their favorite Fallout game, but I also heard a lot of mixed opinions on it, so kind of curious, what do you guys think?
June the 14th. It's E3, and Bethesda Game Studios is holding their first full press conference. Todd strolls out on stage again, confidence radiating. He's met with thunderous applause. Again, the claims are bold.
All of this just works.
Well, I will say something like base building is something I actually want in Fallout New Vegas, which I'm currently playing. I know it's sadly not a part of the game, but I got so many of those dino toys that I just want to put in my base, and I can't, and it's driving me nuts. So base building is something that I would love for Fallout.
And again, it just works.
Hold on, is that the release date? That's just 5 months away.
Damn, 5 months away. Nowadays we announce games like 5 years in advance, and then they get pushed back.
But first, look to the skies. By God, it's thundering time. War Thunder is one of the most comprehensive PvP vehicle combat games ever created. 10 nations, over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships.
Not my type of game at all, but maybe some of you guys out there enjoy it.
From some of the most technologically advanced death machines ever concocted by man, to your granddad's crusty old crop duster. Jump into combat in almost anything. The detail is immaculate. Sharp
16 times the detail!
textures, crisp sounds. Every vehicle is delicately modelled right down to the corest of components. Engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and even the lads inside. All of these are individually targetable, and in X-ray view, you'll see everything close up.
Oh wow.
The game has had over 95 million players. Join them. War Thunder is free to play on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation, and now mobile devices too. You're a new or returning player on PC or consoles? Well, for a limited time, here's a massive bonus pack, including an exclusive vehicle decorator, Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, 7 days of premium, plus a ton more.
Unfortunately, I think this already ran out because this video is not that new. And he did say limited time, so sad.
Just sign up through the link in the description or the pinned comment below.
So if anyone cares about that, you can check it out under his video. It is linked in my description.
Now, for some quick context, a few years before Fallout 4 was even announced, Bethesda let Obsidian Entertainment, a Californian development team with several key people from Fallout's original dev team, take the wheel and crank out a Fallout 3 spin-off based on their original plan for Fallout 3 back in 2004. With only 18 months to get the game out the door, they got to work immediately, and in 2010, Fallout New Vegas was released. Wait, was that traits from the first games? Joinable factions? An in-depth reputation system?
I hate the air that you breathe!
And actual skill and attribute checks in dialogue and out in the world?
Man, I can't wait to see the look on his face.
Also, the writing here is actually good.
Yeah, so that's kind of the thing. I'm pretty sure that Fallout 4 is not anywhere close to Fallout New Vegas, which I am really enjoying for the exact reasons that he just listed, but it could still be an enjoyable game for other reasons, so...
The world? Pretty deeply thought out, with multiple factions at play, an interesting conflict, and actual player choice. The characters are also well written, and if you don't like someone, that's fine, because this is always an option. Then there's almost every chain of side quests in the game affecting the main story, and the ending slideshow. There are actually hundreds of endings here.
Shit, I have to replay the game 196 times after I'm done for the first time? Ah!
We were looking at a 3D Fallout game with actual RPG mechanics and good writing here. In fact, the game had fixed almost everything wrong with Fallout 3, and it was phenomenal. Obsidian even had to work around the crusty Gamebryo engine code, with all the issues that came with it. For instance, if anything in the game is voiced, there has to be a character to actually voice it. This leads to characters in the game like Ron the narrator, Bill the tax collector, and Testicles the Debug Centurion. The ending slideshow is also an actual in-game slideshow your character's locked into looking at, with Ron the narrator behind it.
Okay, closing my eyes, okay? What are these spoilers?
Anyway, due to the engine, the short development time they'd been given, and the colossal 500 megabytes of RAM they'd had to work with consoles, the big plans they had for the city had to be trimmed considerably. But 18 months in, and Obsidian had made one of the best role-playing games of all time. However, because it's so jam-packed and was made in such a short time, it has a rough start. It's horrifically buggy and horribly optimized on release, almost unplayable in some cases. There's literally a bug where you can't enter the main strip of New Vegas without wearing the old cowboy hat. The bugs are eventually patched.
That is an amazing bug. What do you mean? I'm literally collecting cowboy hats right now. I would have won over that bug.
But because of its release date, New Vegas receives 84 points on Metacritic. That was just 1 point short for the bonus Bethesda would have given them.
Oh yeah, I heard about that as well. Bruh, that is just shitty, man. They worked so hard to get this game out in such a short period of time and they don't even get the fucking bonus. Are you kidding me?
As per the contract. As a result, layoffs at Obsidian, and around 20 to 30 people are vanished.
Bruh.
Nefarious theories about Bethesda begin to float. Some fans even suggest
Game was rigged from the start.
Obsidian would go on to pitch a Fallout New Vegas 2, and a similar spin-off with Elder Scrolls.
What? What? Elder Scrolls? New Vegas? What? I'm sure it was a different type of spin-off in the world.
Guaranteed cash cow for both parties. But this time, Bethesda says no. And that was the end of it.
Huh?
Fallout 4, probably the most hyped game of 2015. It had been half a decade since we'd last heard anything at all from the franchise, so people are naturally quite excited to jump back in. And on the 10th of November 2015, the game is out the door. The reviews, amazing. 9.5 out of 10 IGN. YouTubers are even calling it near perfect. However, when people actually get their hands on the game, they dig in. And it's neither of those things. During development, Bethesda had looked at Fallout 3's gunplay. Yeah, not really up to standards, boys. So they pulled some programmers from id, who were developing Doom at the time, to help them make actual, functional FPS combat. And as a result, the gameplay here, a lot better.
Nice.
The gun modification system from New Vegas is back, and it's heavily expanded. It's actually very good here, and utilises the horde of absolute shit you amass while playing the game. Also, more voice actors. So now every third NPC in the game no longer sounds the exact same. Plus, a few other elements of Fallout 4 had clearly taken some inspiration from New Vegas. This game actually has joinable factions, and they play a big role in the resolution of the main storyline. An improvement. Companions are also a lot better than 3's. They have personalities here, and even their own quests too, like in New Vegas. They now also like or dislike certain actions you do, depending on said personality. There's now a sprint button, and that new power armor, pretty cool. However, that's generally where the good ends. See, after a bumpy start, Fallout fans had come to love New Vegas, one of the best RPGs of all time, some even claim. And so, as a following game in the same franchise, some people expected Fallout 4 to improve, maybe even build upon it.
Yeah, that's generally what people would expect, yeah. I get it.
No. Todd Howard is, at this point, a legendary game designer, a 4 times world champion. His ideas were groundbreaking. He couldn't be caged. And his process was not changing for this game. He, and Bethesda as a whole, could do no wrong. This was going to be another smash hit regardless. Game of the Year was essentially coded in. And so again, simplification. The character system in Fallout 3, far too confusing. Special attributes, perks, and skills? Please. So they remove skills entirely, and merge them into perks and attributes. Traits are still nowhere to be found. The speech. See, half the charm of the old Fallouts are the branching effects of dialogue. the various quest lines and scraps of information you can wrangle from people using only the gift of the gab.
Who the fuck? Who is it? What? I should kick your fucking ass. Who is this?
So for Fallout 4, Emil and the rest of Bethesda's crack writing team sit down. What Fallout really needs is an emotional story, boys. Also, Todd's been quite blatantly gunning for a more mainstream crowd for over a decade now, and no one in the general public can really read anymore due to brain rot. So let's kill two birds with one stone.
I am worried how Fallout 5 is gonna look if this was already an issue in 2015. Because that was not even the height of TikTok. That was not even when our brains were like hyper rotting away. At this point in 2026, they're hyper rotting. So,
And go for a voiced protagonist. What they didn't see coming, they couldn't possibly have predicted, was that voicing every single line of dialogue your character says in the game 2 times.
I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
I am Barbie girl, I said.
Is a bit expensive and quite time consuming. So Todd and the team do what they do best. Streamline. That old iconic speech system? Get rid of it. That Mass Effect game is pretty good. Let's use theirs. Let's also lock the player down to 4 speech options at all times. And let's not even allow them to see what those options are. Brilliant.
What? What do you mean they can't see the options?
This results in a ton of speech options being
Oh, they're vague. Like that? Oh, that's annoying.
quite deceiving.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald fuck.
And because writing is hard, let's just boil every speech option down to yes, sarcastic yes, maybe yes, and no, but actually yes. 2 of the first and most popular mods to come out removes the voiceovers entirely and actually shows you what you're saying.
Well, I can understand wanting a voice protagonist. It can be really cool, but then if you cut corners like that, it fucking sucks. So honestly, I think most people would have, in this case, preferred to just not have a voiced protagonist.
And this problem becomes quite plain to see. Skills are gone, and as a result, skill speech checks and dialogue
Oh, no.
Special attribute speech checks too. There are charisma speech checks in the game,
I don't believe you.
but they rarely result in anything other than give me money.
All right, 200.
150.
The protagonist's voice lines, which caused half the issues here, make up for around 25% of the game's dialogue data and script. That's about 26,000 lines.
Is the protagonist a self-insert type character, or do they have a pre-made story? Because from what I remember, I watched a YouTube video like, I don't know, 7 years ago that was talking about Fallout 4, and there was something about a baby, and they were looking for a baby. I thought it was a dad looking for his baby, but I might be getting something wrong here, apparently.
All of this time and expense on a feature which fans hate and actively makes the game significantly worse. Brilliant. At least the dialogue's well written.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
Do I need to remind you why you made that promise in the first place?
No, that won't be necessary. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready.
Then there's the karma system, which they'd gotten rid of, the faction system, but instead of the varied reputations like we'd gotten in New Vegas, you're basically either with someone or against them. The skill and attribute checks they had out in the world in Fallout 3, basically nowhere to be found. They did put a couple in there though, just enough to remind us that they could have done it, but didn't. Far fewer evil character options, weapon durability's gone. The new, worse, layered armor system, holstered weapons are no longer visible. And the ending slideshow is not even gimped, it's just completely non-existent here. The game ends on essentially the exact same cutscene for all 4 endings.
Playing every hour on every channel.
For Fallout 4, Todd also doubled down on the procedural stuff again, and attempted to make the game infinitely replayable. And to do this, they'd cooked up the settlement system.
It's done.
A base building framework that allows you to construct your own towns across the map and establish trade routes between them. Sounds great. But again, there are issues.
Yeah, I think honestly the base building stuff is one of the most interesting features. But, well, I want to see what the but is.
The entire interface for base building is from the perspective of the player, limiting and obstructing camera angles, making construction a nightmare. There's also a ton of building and trash in the way that you can't scrap and have to build around. Again, a nightmare. Not a fan of the system? Unlucky. because this mechanic is pretty much unavoidable. Elements are mandatory in the main quest.
Okay, I hate that it's mandatory. I think something like base building in a game like this should be pretty optional, but have enough benefits so that people would want to do it, but, you know.
And one of the 4 factions' quest lines completely revolves around it. However, a benefit. Due to this new settlement system,
All of this just works.
players can now build their own settlements. No need for Bethesda to even bother. As a result, the game is majorly lacking in actual towns.
No.
Morrowind had something like 21 towns.
Oh.
Fallout 3 had about 15 proper settlements. New Vegas around 15 too. Fallout 4, 5 years later, somewhere around 7.
Damn, they were really like, hey guys, I got this genius idea. What if we just make the player build the world for us? Fucking smart.
The main city is also quite underwhelming. Less settlements equals less quests. And surprise, surprise, Fallout 4 is lacking here too. It has less than Skyrim, a game that came out 4 years earlier. Missing the towns and quests our old games had an abundance of? Well, here's a tiny hovel next to a lake for you to do up yourself. There are around 30 of these potential settlements, and Bethesda uses these to pad out the game's lack of content.
Oh, that sucks though. Like, I love the idea of base building, but if that is the cost it comes at, then I don't know, man. I don't know if I want it. And right now, side quests are like my favorite thing in New Vegas, so hearing there's less side quests is kinda sad.
Via more radiant quests. See, there's a man in the game called Preston Garvey, and he's about to become your worst nightmare. Prepare to hear this every time you speak to the man for the rest of the game. Naturally, the character is widely hated.
I'll mark it on your map.
But turns out, he's essential. 10,000 people download a mod solely dedicated to killing him.
That is so funny.
There's also a mod that just stops him giving out quests in an attempt to make him more tolerable. It has around 50,000 downloads. Others turn to alternative ways of doing that. Settlements are also just kind of pointless.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
They have no impact on the main quest, and most of the actual settlers are just basic, randomly generated NPCs. You get money and items from establishing trade routes, but at the end of the game, you're pretty much drowning in all of that anyway. But Todd wasn't finished with the procedural stuff just yet. In New Vegas, there were a ton of unique weapons. These had unique effects and actually looked unique. In 3, most uniques had unique effects, but looked exactly the same as their default. In 4, due to the new procedural legendary weapon system, any gun can now basically have any effect, meaning no weapons here actually feel unique. The same goes for armor. When it comes down to the amount of actual content in the game, disappointment here too.
I see. For me, that wouldn't be that big of an issue, but I can understand some people who are really into the gunplay or the weapons and armor that would maybe put a great deal of importance to this. For me personally, guns are just like, if it works, it works. If I can shoot people with it and I have enough bullets, it's good. I don't really care about having uniques. Unless I'm playing like Borderlands or something, but that's way different.
Cut content, par for the course for Bethesda games, but it's never been more apparent. The map is densely populated like Skyrim, with a ton of interesting locations. The issue is, they all essentially end up just being a nice little backdrop to murder people in. Oh cool. A town made out of old boat, barge,
Super cool. What do you mean?
and ship parts. It's just a bunch of raiders you have to kill.
Aww.
A gladiator-style arena in the middle of downtown Boston. Just a bunch of raiders to kill, with no reason to ever return. Fallout 4 is barely even attempting to be an RPG anymore. It's a sandbox, base building, looter-shooter, action exploration game. In 3, Bethesda had absolutely nailed the atmosphere. It's pretty much unanimously praised. So in 4, they change it completely. The gloomy, gritty, post-apocalyptic vibes of 3 turn into bright, colourful, and hopeful in Fallout 4. The music too.
Honestly, just hearing this music, I don't think it's that bad.
So, for a AAA game in 2015, the graphics are not great. stiff animations, and pretty horrific textures across the board. The super mutants look especially bad. Compared to The Witcher 3 the same year, yeah, not great.
But didn't Witcher 3 also launch with a lot of bugs?
Despite the bad
Well, bugs versus graphics, completely different thing. Bugs are fixable, graphics usually not.
graphics, the game runs terribly. Fallout 4 also features an art style change that in a lot of cases does the game no favours. Some weapons look weird, walls look worse, and super mutants go from deformed, hunched over mutants to just large green men.
What?
We don't talk
No, that wasn't an actual mutant right there, right?
about the synth armor. Also, is that gun bolt on the wrong side? The writing. Again, Emil is back as head writer, and as a result, we're served an absolute masterclass of storytelling. We emerge from a vault, looking for an immediate family member. Again. The big silver people. They're back, and central to the storyline. Again. Look, Giant Robot Man finale. Again. Wow. Also, you've just left the vault with the sole mission of finding your only child, who's just been ripped from the clutches of your lifeless spouse, only to immediately get sidetracked by Steve down the road, who needs some help building a shed. Not too long after the game comes out, Emil does a talk where he explains his writing method. It's controversial.
Keep it simple, stupid. This is what happens at Bethesda. When you write the main story of a game, we're gonna write the great American novel. It's gonna be this thick.
Keep it simple, stupid.
And you're gonna give this book, this great American novel, to the player. And what are they gonna do with it? They're gonna rip out every page and make paper airplanes out of them. And they're never gonna see your story. They are gonna spend 30 hours making shacks.
Well, if you give them the option to build shacks and make it one of the central points of the game and encourage them to do that, yes, they're gonna build fucking shacks. What do you mean? People loved the stories.
This is who we're making the game for. That's not the end of being a video game developer, because the true mark of being a real developer is waiting for reviews to come in, and then reading the reviews, of course, and hopefully, if you get lucky, ignoring the reviews.
Then there's the design of the game. Emil is head of that too. See, lead designers of a game usually have this thing called a design document. This is available to everyone on the team and sets out pretty much everything the game is trying to achieve, keeping everyone on the same page at all times. New
Makes
people
sense.
join the company midway through development, just send them the design doc, and they'll be up to speed. Design docs are usually constantly updated throughout development, so if something changes, it'll be reflected on the document. But turns out, the lead designer is not a fan. Design docs take a bit of time to keep up to date, and it's just a bit too much effort.
Oh no, me when I have to do my job. Like, what do you mean? That's your job. Just fucking do it.
So for Fallout 4, he basically just scraps it, apparently resorting to a few smaller ones for specific areas of development. Now, Bethesda games are not small projects. Their studios consists of hundreds of people, collaborating across multiple countries.
We don't give two shits about how technology works, because all we care about is getting rich.
And now they're going about this without a cohesive, shared document. Doesn't sound ideal.
Not a great plan.
He receives a ton of backlash for this, and later walks it back in a tweet. And of course, the bugs are numerous. And incredibly basic things are still missing. There's still no ultra-wide support, or even an FOV slider, even though you can easily change it by modifying the ini file. This is on a PC in the year 2015.
Hi guys, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.
But of course, Bethesda knows their fanbase will clean it all up for them, so it's all good. When Fallout 4 first released in November 2015, Todd and the boys offered a season pass for $30, including access to all future DLC content. At the time, the scope of the DLC isn't public knowledge, but the last two Fallouts had a clear formula of 4 to 5 decently sized story expansions, with new locations, quests, weapons, and enemies. So people expect something similar here. Bethesda had also stated that the season pass would be worth at least $40 in total. Pretty sweet deal. February 2016, and Bethesda has an announcement. They've expanded their original vision for 4's DLC.
Are you with me?
And the season pass price is getting bumped up to $50 in March.
Bruh.
If you hadn't already, you better get that season pass now. They released their first expansion that same month, and it's a small questline with a character from Fallout 3, as well as a new robot building system. It's alright, I guess. April 2016, and DLC 2 is released, Wasteland Workshop. This is basically just a few more things you can craft for your settlements, and some arena fighting.
Like, I don't technically think these are awful DLCs, but for the price.
Okay. May 2016, and we get the first proper expansion, Far Harbor. And this is actually decent. Bethesda had clearly taken in some feedback here, because it includes actual RPG elements and is decently written.
Nice.
Let's just ignore that one quest there.
They did what? They stole a mod? What?
They then released 2 more workshop DLCs. Exciting stuff. Then the second full expansion, Nuka World, releases in August. Again, this expansion is good. The season pass was shaping up to be a pretty good buy. Wait, this was the last DLC? So that was 2 actual expansions,
Dang.
a small quest line, and then some tiny crafting DLC.
I suppose it depends on the size of the actual big expansions, whether it's worth it or not. Because nowadays, I'm viewing it from the lens of 2026, every game is selling for $50. That is not indie. So, I don't know, man.
Fans are pretty pissed.
People will buy anything. That doesn't mean...
Despite the issues, the game sells insanely well. Todd had done it again. And Fallout goes mainstream. Mass appeal.
I mean, if anything, it's really good that at least the big expansions were quite good.
And hundreds of millions are conjured yet again. Todd gets suited and booted, and heads to the Game Awards, ready to sweep up yet again. But once he gets there, something feels different. The atmosphere. It's off. Todd has some white wine, and dips into the salmon pinwheel. It's fine. It's probably nothing. And the lights dim, and there it is. Best RPG.
The best RPG. The winner is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
What?
I'm sorry.
Developer of the Year.
For Developer of the Year goes to CD Projekt Red.
Dang.
Game of the Year.
And the winner for Game of the Year
The
2015
Witcher?
is The Witcher 3.
Oh. I mean, from what I've heard, The Witcher is really fucking good. I played around, 5 hours of it maybe. It was really fun, but very open world. And if it's something open world, I need something to really reel me in to keep playing. So unfortunately, I never played more of it, but it was quite good. I get it.
What? Outrage. Todd Howard snubbed. He leaves and gets cracking on his next game. This thing was going to be a masterpiece.
Wait.
The consistent
What was the next one? Was it Fallout 76?
progression of their games definitely noted. But Bethesda still has a generally tremendous reputation. In a market currently setting its sights exclusively on your mother's credit card.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Good evening, sir. I'm calling from your credit card component.
Bethesda had stuck it out, remained single player, and actively avoided egregious monetization.
Yeah, I think after Fallout 4, their reputation should have been still fine because the game was not awful. Probably a little bit worse than the past games, but not completely awful. And the fact that the 2 expansions had decent story probably helped it as well, I can imagine.
Mostly. One of the few decent gaming companies left. But around 2016, and even this begins to change. In October, Bethesda Softworks decides to make a controversial change. See, game reviewers typically get sent out review copies a few days or even weeks before games come out. This is so they have enough time to actually play the game before writing an entire review on it for launch day.
God, my favorite thing ever, the Cuphead reviewer that couldn't get out of the tutorial. That was so fucking funny, dude.
For longer, single-player games like the ones Bethesda Softworks publish, this is pretty important. But Bethesda now reckons, nah, let's just send review copies out one day before launch.
One day?
Everyone, including those in the media, get to experience our games at the same time.
Might as well not send out any copies at that point. It's one day before, bruh.
Definitely not to sweep glitches and issues with the games under the rug until everyone had already bought the game. This is obviously quite controversial, and after releasing a couple of games under this, they backpedal. Also, around the same time, a tiny indie developer is developing a small game called Pray for the Gods. ZeniMax hears about this and comes knocking. Nice name you got there, pal. But turns out, we already have a game with the word pray in the title. Nothing personal, kid.
What? But it's not even similar. What the fuck? Can you trademark a part of a name nowadays? I guess even back then.
They're forced to change the name. A few years before that, Mojang was making a game called Scrolls. ZeniMax had come knocking down too.
Oh my god.
Same result.
No way.
Also in 2016, Todd has a surprise for us. It had been 2 years since Fallout 4, and players are starting to get hungry once more. And lucky for us, Todd and the boys had something in store. Another edition of Skyrim. That was on top of Skyrim Legendary Edition back in 2013.
This is so annoying. When will they have Skyrim for my Apple Watch? I want to play it while I'm on my walks. Come on Bethesda. I know you're working on new Skyrim editions. Come on.
Skyrim VR Edition, which would release in 2017, and Skyrim Nintendo Switch Edition shortly after that. Fans are overjoyed. That's not all. The Special Edition replaces the original Skyrim listing on Steam. It also changes the game from 32-bit to 64-bit, meaning every single mod is now automatically broken.
Bruh, that's pain.
And needs updating. It's not all bad. They announce mods on consoles. They also announce paid mods for all platforms. The Creation Club.
Oh, I heard of that.
It was simple. Slide some cash over to modders to create a mod that probably already exists on the Nexus for free. Create their own currency with predatory pricing models.
Aww.
And then sell these mods to players through it. The first few creations are simply jaw-dropping. An $8 Chinese stealth suit, pretty much identical to the one in the base game of Fallout 3, for free, and also currently available on the Nexus, for free. And look, horse armor again.
No!
Brilliant. 2018. It's rumored that Todd is working on a massive, brand new IP.
Just about the Creation Club, is that even still a thing? I heard news about that a while back, but obviously at the time I wasn't really playing any Bethesda games, so I didn't really care. So I have no idea what the state of that is right now.
Their first in 25 years, called Starfield. So naturally, we're probably not going to hear much from him for a while. But then, on May the 29th, another countdown appears. This time on Bethesda's own Twitch. On it, the words, "Please stand by." My god, it's happening again.
Hey, it's happening! Everybody stay calm! What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
And then, there he is.
Have we waited long enough, guys?
Wait, what was this? It was only 3 years since the last Fallout. Could this be the massively anticipated New Vegas sequel? Perhaps Fallout 5 skipped the queue. Speculation goes wild.
Everything on this wall is connected.
Regardless, the next day, the countdown drizzles down to 0, and the world sees the next Fallout for the very first time.
They were so close to greatness. They could have called it Fallout 6-7. They were so close.
Excitement.
I will say, I know how shitty the launch of Fallout 76 went. Like, everything completely went to shit. I know a couple people that played nowadays, and they say it's gotten a lot better, but, you know, obviously it still ain't perfect.
Although people still don't really know what it is they're excited for. June 10th. It's E3. Todd charges on stage, and we get some actual details of the game.
Fallout 76 is entirely online. All new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology. It is 4 times the size of Fallout 4. 16 times the detail.
16 times the detail! I fucking love that code.
Of course you can play this solo. You'll never even see a server when you play.
This all sounded brilliant. An online PvP base building survival game. The collector's edition looks promising too.
And it also comes with a Fallout collectible that really I've always wanted, so we made them for everybody to buy, and here it is.
Huh?
Okay, no. But we do get a helmet, a map,
That glows in the f***ing dark.
and some army figures, alongside a canvas bag.
Oh, not the canvas bag! I love the internet historian video about this, about Fallout 76 specifically. So freaking good. I would react to it, but I've already seen the video like 50 times. I cannot.
It's also the perfect time to tease Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6, two games that are around 5 and 10 years out from launch respectively. But anyway, this thing's coming out on November the 14th, and that was just 5 months away. Bethesda had held a beta a couple of weeks before launch for people who'd pre-ordered the game, and things start out rough. By this point, Bethesda weren't exactly known for the structural integrity of their software, and they'd decided to launch the game exclusively on their brand new Bethesda launcher, made in-house by Bethesda's best. Just go to their website, download it, slurp up the 45 gigabytes of game files, and in around a week's time when the beta's unlocked, just hit play. Simple enough. And players do exactly this, but turns out, for some, upon pressing the play, the launcher deletes the entire game instantly. Bethesda releases an emergency statement telling players to stay calm and not to touch anything. They're working on it. And then promptly deletes the tweet. Things are off to a good start. Also, the YouTubers. They're uploading videos. They're not good. They say the game is running horrifically.
I couldn't get the game to run smoothly. I had tons of FPS issues and tons of stutters.
Even on NASA tier PCs.
Dang.
And that bugs are everywhere.
Yeah.
But fans disagree. The dislikes come in hard and fast. Bethesda would obviously fix everything before release.
Sure. Yeah, they definitely did. Yeah.
This is a beta after all.
Right.
However, this is a beta about 3 weeks out from launch. Fans close YouTube and head over to Twitch, where Rick and Morty are streaming the game.
I know I'm naked, but just come help me out. No funny business.
Everything was gonna be okay. 14th of November 2018, and the world is blessed with Fallout 76. And after downloading a day 1 patch bigger than the game itself, players boot up and step out into what would be
An untamed and very different wasteland.
Todd had made some grand promises, and the follow-through was nothing short of incredible. Voluptuous size, and the detail, simply eye-watering. However, Fallout 76's development was handed to a newer, relatively inexperienced Bethesda team in Austin, with the main Bethesda Maryland just designing and overlooking the development of the game. And turns out, this new team decided to forego bug testing entirely. And on launch...
Should they be doing that?
Christ. There are frozen enemies,
It's a glitch!
flying enemies, invisible enemies,
Hello?
naked enemies,
Oh my
upside
gosh.
down naked enemies, invincible players,
Shot. Or not. I could get the damage bug.
pop-ins, rendering issues,
16 times the detail.
random god rays, T-poses, server crashes,
Hey, bye-bye, told you.
and Muscle Man.
I love the Muscle Man. That's so good.
Animations are also off. There's a ton of exploits, and so much more.
What the f is going on?
The year is also 2018, and Bethesda's newest AAA game is capped at 60 frames per second, even on PC.
Dang.
Naturally, players are quite annoyed, so they dig into the game files and start tinkering. And in a mere few minutes, they figure out a simple fix. However, turns out the cap's there for a reason, because turn it off, and time and space itself speeds up and destabilizes. This is because the game world's physics are actually tied to the frame rate.
What the
of the
fuck?
game. Head over 100, and your character becomes the Flash.
No way.
This bug has been in Bethesda's engine code dating back to Morrowind, and it's one of the many bugs modders have repeatedly fixed on their own, almost instantly after release.
And then all that time since Morrowind, they at no point sat down and were like, maybe this is something that we should work on.
Only for every following game to reintroduce it. There's also still no FOV slider.
Bruh, what do you mean?
So PC players dig into the game files again and do it themselves. But turns out, the UI is tied to the field of view here. Change this, and the UI elements are just gone. Push to talk? Sorry, not this time. Proximity chat is either permanently off or always on.
What?
The latter by default.
In a multiplayer game, it's always on or always off. Are you kidding me?
Meaning you'll be hearing the cries of children and screams of mothers in the distance fairly often. There's also no text chat, and on PC, you can barely remap the horrific controls.
God.
The game itself, also quite lacking. As was now well established, bug fixes and patches for Bethesda games had been outsourced to modders for free. But for Fallout 76, Todd decided to outsource the actual content too.
My personal favorite part of Fallout 76 is when they create their own fun.
See, Bethesda had so much of their team work.
They're like, well, modders have been doing it for years. Might as well let them do it.
Working on the detail.
16 times the detail. 16 times the detail.
That developing actual things to do in interactable NPCs, simply not possible. And the game features absolutely no human characters. Only other players. But it's alright. Other players will take the place of NPCs, Todd reassures us. With no NPCs in the game, naturally, the quests are terrible. The main quest line basically boils down to following the trail of someone's vlogs across the map. Okay, at least there's the side quests. Stuff like find Steve. Oh, Steve's dead. Thank God he left his TikTok behind for us to watch.
The war is over.
You are out of uniform, soldier! Where is your power armor? That suit is gonna come out of your pay! Now get out of my face and don't come back until you look like a soldier!
Fantastic. The game features PvP, but the PvP is horrific. Instead of simply adding PvP and PvE servers, Todd attempts to toe a tight middle ground, and makes it so two players have to shoot each other before either can do any actual damage. Shoot someone that hasn't shot you back yet, and you may as well be shooting blanks. And the graphics, still not great.
Beautiful, stunning, 2018. Magnifique.
It's not all bad. There are some cool things here, like dropping nukes, but drop more than one at a time and the servers will implode.
You'll never even see a server when you play.
The launch codes are also the same for every server and change once a week. Just spent countless hours getting all 8 pieces. You could have just googled them. The building is alright, but the build limit is extremely restricted, and all you can really do is build crafting stations, a bed, and storage.
Please don't tell anyone how I live.
Storage that is, again, extremely restricted. They end up raising it by 50% after a huge number of complaints, but they say they can't do any more due to
Don't they have like DLCs where you need to pay money to get more storage or something like that?
server performance issues. So the game itself, not smooth. But the one thing that does work perfectly
The
online
cash shop.
is the new in-game shop, the Atomic Shop. Come in and browse such luxuries as a set of power armor with some paint slapped on for just $20. Deal.
Are you f***ing serious?
Do you like $7 digital fridges? Do you like the outfits you got for free in our last game? Great, come in and spend some money. Naturally, at first, there are pay-to-win concerns around this store. But Todd comes out. It's alright. You can earn the currency in-game, the purchases would fund the upcoming free expansions for the game, and most assuring of all, the Atomic Shop is and would stay cosmetic only, so that PvP would stay completely balanced and fair.
Yeah.
We're definitely not asset flipping Fallout 4 and selling it back to you for dozens of dollars. And there are absolutely no fake discounts and law-breaking price schemes.
Bro, I remember the fake discount shit. Oh my god. Like, Fallout 76 was actually such a fucking mess.
Nice. Time to get spending. Naturally, the game doesn't make it a few days before discounts appear. The game starts at $60. Within just 1 week, a third of that is nixed. 50% sales not long after that. Alongside the discounts, hordes of fans had been requesting refunds. Initially, Bethesda had given in, but now, no more. Some people are even promised them, only to have Bethesda backtrack the next day.
Bruh.
See, if this was on Steam, they'd have to give the green light for these. But here's the thing. It's on that old launcher of theirs. Check and mate. But then come murmurs of a class action lawsuit, and they backtrack immediately. So the game is absolutely horrendous, and naturally, the sales are too. Also, no game awards, not even a nomination, and a whopping 2.6 on Metacritic.
Wow, 2.6, brother.
Right, boys, should probably do something here. They can't rely on modders to fix the game this time round, so Bethesda gets to work on actual patches, and after a few months, Fallout 76 slowly morphs into something resembling a playable game. Also, the boys in Bethesda's R&D department had been working round the clock. And by the end of 2018, was that an FOV?
Whoa, no way.
Even push to talk. What was happening? Despite the progress, there are some bugs they just can't quite crack. Also, a teleportation exploit using cameras, hackers finding a way to spawn in weapons, armor, and other objects into the game, even NPCs and stuff from other games.
Bethesda just does not have the infrastructure in place that allows them to deal with situations like this efficiently.
These hackers are also running around stealing people's entire inventory. They don't even have to see you to do this, as long as they're within the general radius of the player.
Why are you running?
And because the Pip-Boy is technically an item in your inventory, say goodbye to that too. Luckily, thanks to another glitch, the game checks if you have a Pip-Boy every time you log on to a server. So join a new server, and you'll be alright. It takes Bethesda around a week to address this. And when they do fix it, hundreds of people have lost everything. Victims are given two options. Roll back their progress to before the muggings, or meet up with someone from Bethesda in a private world who will hand all your stuff back to you.
What?
But despite the improvements in the game,
you have to meet up with someone who will give your stuff back? Damn, who the fuck made that game?
problems are surfacing outside of it. As part of the collector's edition, they'd promised a canvas bag, quite clearly labelled here. But on launch day, horror for collectors as they unboxed their editions, and it was nowhere to be found.
Wait.
Instead, a cheap nylon bag in its
That's what I was gonna say. Like, there was a bag, but it was wrong.
place. After suggesting a canvas shortage and then denying replacements, they backtrack again and hand out a form for people to fill out a replacement. This goes through very smoothly, with no issues. However, this is not the only underwhelming merchandise.
The bottles.
September 2019. It's been around a year since release, and after countless bug fixes, Fallout 76 is in okay shape, and now the game and its mishaps are largely forgotten. But the collector's edition wasn't finished. It would spring up one more time in the media. This time it was the helmets. They were accumulating dangerous levels of mold. If you were the lucky owner of one of the collectible Nuka-Cola versions, turns out the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission considers them a severe health risk for anyone with one in the household.
I actually haven't heard that much about these helmets. I heard about the bottles and the canvas bag.
They're recalled and refunded. Bethesda's reputation was already slipping before the events of 76, but Fallout 76 was a major tipping point. Gamers were angry. They were rising up. So angry, these gamers made numerous angry YouTube videos and forum posts, most of which attained a ton of upvotes from other angry gamers. Things were getting serious. Bethesda thought it best not to respond to the horror that was the launch of this game, and returned to the shadows, and Todd and the boys lay low, go off the grid. Before launch, you could often find Pete Hines, Vice President of Bethesda Softworks and Head of Marketing and PR on Twitter, answering curious fans' questions about the game. Afterwards, nothing. Complete radio silence. But after a while, the game is improving. The roadmap that initially launched for the game is taking shape, and the expansions are actually decent. That even added actual NPCs.
I heard they have fishing. That was the last update I heard of, and I was half tempted to play it just because I like fishing in video games.
Wow. Todd had even apologized.
Fallout 76 had a lot of difficulties at launch, and we got a lot of well-deserved criticism.
To the optimistic, it looked like things at Bethesda had in fact begun to change. Their trail of greed, incompetence, and outright refusal to listen to what their fanbase wanted was just a brief nightmare, a small bump in the road. Finished. Unfortunately, Todd had other plans. They'd said Fallout 76 would never be pay to win. Microtransactions would be cosmetic only. So when they released repair kits to the Atomic Shop in early 2019, fans are confused. Todd had lied, but he wasn't finished. In 2020, the promised private servers arrive, and they're paywalled behind Fallout 76's new subscription service. Fallout First. Private servers, unlimited storage for scrap, monthly atoms, exclusive cosmetics, and a tent. All for just $13 a month. More expensive than Netflix at the time. Oh god. Fallout 76 is trending on Twitter again. A ton of angry forum posts are cropping up. People are not happy. Also, they forgot to reserve the actual Fallout First domain name, and someone on 4chan managed to get there first.
That is so funny. The sex tent? Wait a second. If that is the type of tent that they had, then I agree paying $13 a month. What do you mean?
Of course, this service was not without issues. The private servers turned out to use recycled multiplayer worlds that had evidence of recent activity from other players, such as dead enemies, looted areas, and so on. The infinite stash was gobbling up people's scrap, which they could no longer find. Yeah, once again, things were not smooth.
Sucks, man.
It's now 2020 and up at corporate movement. See, back in 2007, a private equity firm called Providence had bought around 300 million ZeniMax shares, and then some more in 2010. They're presumed to hold around 30 to 40% of the stock. What followed was a shopping spree. ZeniMax uses this money to buy Tango Gameworks, id, and Arcane, and rumour is, by 2016, their little investment has paid off quite nicely, and Providence is looking to lock in some profits and sell. However, at this point, ZeniMax are only valued at $2.5 billion. That was embarrassing. We can do better, boys. And so, a plan is hatched. Instead of sticking to huge, intermittent, high-quality releases every few years, let's consider the quarterly cash flows. How about a few mobile games? Price tags on mods. Egregiously priced.
Okay, I will say, I remember when Fallout Shelter first came out. It's a dumbass fucking game, but I played it so much, and I didn't even know what Fallout was. It was just popular in my school at the time.
Cosmetics. And then the masterpiece that was Fallout 76.
Oh my god.
There. Now, on paper, the company looks great. Just forget about everything else. And the plan works perfectly. Microsoft's Phil Spencer marches straight into their office, and on September 21st, 2020, they announced the acquisition of ZeniMax Media for $7.5 billion.
Holy!
And on the 9th of March 2021, the deal goes through. Xbox now has 23 game studios, and the prime cut of the meat, Todd Howard and the boys. Morrowind was a generational leap, effectively laying the foundation for the modern open-world game, and setting the blueprint for all following Bethesda titles. Todd was the visionary behind it, but with little competition, a horrific engine, and a complete dismissal of fan feedback. Innovation turned to safe, stagnant, and outdated and repetitive releases. And by 2021, it was clear. The Bethesda we once knew was no longer.
RIP.
Hmm?
Is it Todd Howard?
It's him. How did he find you? Todd leans in gently, hair combed to perfection, his frosty eyes glistening. A faint aroma of jasmine and manuka honey radiates from him. You stand strong and firm. You've fallen for this before. There's nothing he could say to fall. But then you feel his touch. The hairs on your neck shoot up as he leans in, the manuka now hot in your nostrils. And he whispers in your ear once more.
Painstakingly huge, 4 times the size. You'll need a free hand.
Starfield?
Todd's next game was coming out next year, and you just pre-ordered it.
There is a separate video about Starfield, which is also interesting. Yeah, rip Bethesda. Somehow, I just don't have a lot of hope for the future of the studio. I mean, they can always surprise us, but seeing from like the past couple years, it's been really, really depressing, as most AAA studios, honestly. So I will say the Fallout 76 launch was really funny to watch from the outside. I don't want to know how the players felt, man. I don't want to know. I will go finish Fallout New Vegas. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.